understand that our military, okay, first of all, we got the biggest military in the world, the most powerful military in the world, and we spend much, much more money than any other country does on its military. Now notice too that a lot of this money is spent just projecting power. Okay, it's spent projecting power. Now how do we project power with our military? Somebody have any ideas? How do we project power? What do you think? How do we let other countries know that we have a powerful military? We put our ships on their coastlines. We put Air Force bases in their country. We use their ports. We put our soldiers in some of their lands. You know, like we negotiate and we put our military here. Okay? And we make alliances with countries so that we can place our military on their soil. Okay? That's the way you project power. And every country in the world knows that we have a powerful military. Okay? They all know that. Okay? Because that's what we do. We project it over the television. Okay? We always show our might. And then what happens is as you see these things, the countries know, yes, that's a powerful military. Now let's look at a couple of things. If you look at page 448, okay, it tells you something like global military spending. And you'll note that when you look at all the other countries and what they spend, we spend out of all the military spending in the world, we spend 48% of it is spent on our military. That means if you look at the other 500 countries, they don't even hardly approach that. Okay? Now, look at what we call our discretionary funding or spending. And look at how we spend 58% of our money and taxes are basically going to some form of military. You know, see, that's why you're not supposed to get educated. Okay. Could you ever even, does that ever cross your mind that that's how much money is going to the military? You wouldn't even begin to think that, right? And especially when you hear our politicians talking about what? We have to increase our military spending. Have you noticed that? Do you understand what I'm saying? We must increase our military spending. Our military is weak. Okay? You hear them tell it. I mean, it's almost mind-boggling. Now, what happens? Why does that happen? One, because we have that national security mindset. Okay? And two, we have people who are running corporations who are donating money to politicians. Okay? Who will sit down and say, well, look, this is what we need. And remember that when we fight wars and things, people get rich. When we fought, look, the reason some people want wars because they get rich off of wars. People have always gotten rich off of wars. Okay? Now, and notice that the minute we start fighting wars, we need munitions. If we start and see, first we move from ships, then we move to planes. Then the planes aren't big enough because all they are is little tiny pieces that just flit around and they use one person. Then we have to get bombers, okay? And a bomber back in 1945 cost $1 billion, okay? But we had to put all those bombers out. Then we have to move from there to jets that go faster and faster. And in all of these times, this is what happens. So now we're at drones. And now we're at the point where we don't even care. We just send the drone. We know we can almost say the drone's not coming back. We don't care. Because somebody's going to build us a normal one. And look at what that does for the economy. Okay? Now, I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm not saying any of that. Okay? Because the reason for, because you might be sitting in those positions of power one day, and you want to be the one to say, push the button. Okay? But please understand that that's really what happens. Okay? Now, and therefore, what we do is that then what we do is that we start teaching you fear and the politics of fear. Fear is, some country might have an atomic bomb. And when we dropped the atomic bomb in 1945, no other country had an atomic bomb. And one of the things that had to happen, and please understand this, when we wanted to develop the atomic bomb, we had to make a city. We had a city that was non-existent. And we started pulling in our best minds, our scientific minds, and made them all come to this city that we had just built so that they could work on developing an atomic bomb. That's what we did, because we saw that the Germans were trying to develop one. And we started to try to develop an atomic bomb. That took us 2 years. Okay? And then we tested the bomb, and we saw what a bomb would do. But that wasn't enough. Okay, then we tried to tell one country, look, you warned against this, we're going to drop a bomb on you, okay? You don't get out of here or stop this war. And they didn't, and we dropped the bomb. And we couldn't even imagine the devastation from that bomb. Okay? But then, one of the things you do is because, see, and that develops a bad taste in the stomach of a lot of people. So what they do is they shift you from that to let you think other countries might be doing the same thing, and they might drop a bomb on us. Now notice now, we change our thought from what we did to what they might do to us. That's what we do. Okay? That's the way, understand, this is the way you use power. Okay? You redirect thinking. And so when they redirected the thinking, then they have us going around acting like we should build bomb shelters, and we should duck under the desk if somebody dropped an atomic bomb. When you see a flash, get underneath the desk, children. Yeah, right. All that was going to do is get you reduce the cinders underneath the desk, okay? Now, they knew that, okay? But you notice that we redirect our thinking. Now, I'm not saying, please understand, I'm not saying anything that the country's right or wrong, because all countries do this kind of thing, okay? But it's important that you understand when people move in your mind, but you have to say, well, yes, sometimes you have to break that spiral of silence, okay? Now, and then there's other things that went on during that period of time that made everybody afraid to say, yes, I think the country is wrong. Okay? Now, so now what happens is that we now are supporting our troops. Okay? And you'll see we do that today. You see people riding around, they got signs all over their cars saying, support our troops. Okay? And notice that the countries that we are fighting have not done anything to us, folks. Okay? But that's not the point. Okay? Now the problem is that we've got a lot of people that we train you to be individuals. Okay? And when we train you to be individuals and be individualistic and to be self-thinking and to use yourself to get ahead, now we've got a problem. Because we don't want that kind of thinking in the military. Okay? See all this individualistic stuff that we taught to say, that's fine when you're out in the civilian life. But nobody wants somebody in the military saying, well, the captain says, I want you to charge him. You say, well, why are we charging him this way? Why don't we wait for another 15 minutes so I can eat? Okay? They don't want you saying that. So now we have to go through another phase. well, one person, I think Goffman called something like, let me find the term, it'll pop up in my, the mortification of self. Okay? Now, when we say mortification of self, you bear in mind that we've gone through a lot of times where we said that there's some agencies or some institutions that strip the person to make them a new person. We re-socialize the person. That's what you picked up in chapter 6. Okay? And so when you go to a prison, they strip you of everything and they say this is the way you're supposed to act. And when you're a prisoner, okay? We don't want to hear any stuff that you did on the outside. Well, the service does exactly the same thing. Okay? They strip you. We take our service people, we put them in what we might call a boot camp or a training camp of some kind. We leave them there for about 3 months with very little contact with the outside world while we reshape their thinking. Okay? Now, and so when they come out, then they have a different viewpoint of how things are done. Okay? And then they're team players. Then they're no longer questioning questioning orders. They just follow the orders. Okay? Now, and remember that becomes very critical because sometimes when I'm gonna move aside for a little bit just so you can understand something. I'm drawing up a battle plan. And what I had is this is company A. And I'm going to have company A attack over here and do so and so and so and so. And I said, okay, now you put that in place with such and such a time. Now I've got company A, B, and C. Okay. I also have companies D, E, and F. But now I'm going to build up a new battle plan for after this one gets finished. You know what I do? I pretend that these people are no longer existing. I pretend that they no longer exist, all of them got killed. And then I draw my battle plan with this group of people that I know are here. Okay? This group, these people are expendable. And when you draw a plan, you can't say, well, let's draw from company A because the chances are nobody from company A might come back. And I'm building a new battle plan on all these people that are coming back from company A, and in reality, only 10 of them are coming back. So that 10, when they come back, I consider that a bonus. That's the way military mind must work. Okay? You must work like that. You have to understand that this is the way we do things. And this is especially how we do things in war. Okay? We just, if you're making new plans, you act like the other people are no longer there. It's not hard. But it makes sense, doesn't it?